welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are staying again, still in Columbia, but this time we're staying at a different Hampton Inn. We're technically in the Lexington area, so we're gonna give you guys another great room tour. So come get lost with us in another room tour. Again, like I said, we're here at the Hampton Inn in Lexington, which is a suburb of Columbia, South Carolina. It does seem to be a little bit nicer on this side of town, and this trip we decided to change it up a little bit and see some Hiltons that are over here in the Columbia area since we've done a lot of Marriotts. So this is a king bedroom suite with a wet bar, microwave, mini fridge. It's literally how it's listed on the Hilton website. And we're gonna, I guess, just get started here in the open foyer area. So as you can see, door is behind me. Fun story, they did put us in a hearing accessible room, mostly because there was some issues yesterday when we checked in. This hotel gets booked a lot. Like, they hit full capacity a lot. Even the girls downstairs said that they do. And when we got here, our room wasn't clean yet. It was right around 4 o'clock. And this was the first room that they had available to put us in because I needed to get a nap in before work. So it's kind of interesting. I've never stayed in a room that has a doorbell. And the doorbell, if I understand correctly, when it's flipped on and they hit the doorbell, because hearing accessible, you can't really hear it, the lights should blink. So maybe we'll try that later and show you guys what that's like. So let's get started. Over here, this is our wet bar. And honestly, the entrance too is nice and wide. I do have to say that. We've stayed at a few hotels where you couldn't even really get your luggage in. So this is nice and wide. And I don't know if you guys can tell, it's nighttime. And the lighting here is actually fantastic. It's probably one of the best lit hotel rooms I've ever stayed in outside of the Palazzo, and I think maybe the one that we stayed at Disneyland. So always check up above because we'll link those videos. So if you guys want to check those other hotels that we stayed at, definitely check those out. So like I said, we've got a microwave here, the coffee pot and like extra little goodies are right here, and kind of pulls out like a little drawer, so that's nice. This is just the under sink cabinet here, nothing really to look at. But over here is our mini fridge. So this one isn't as big as that other one we stayed at the Harbison area, but it's decent. It's not bad. We've got enough room to like maybe put a 2-liter or some soda cans here and some stuff in the door, and then a couple of things. It does not have a freezer option. I did notice that it's strictly a fridge only. Some mini fridges have like that weird top shelf where you can put frozen things. Not this one.
And check out our TikTok because we're going to try some Cheerwine beer tonight, so we'll probably throw that on the TikTok.
Oh yeah, we found Cheerwine beer. If you guys know anything about the Carolinas, Cheerwine is like the unofficial soda of the Carolinas. They pretty much only make it, and you can pretty much only get it in like Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. And I love Cheerwine. It's kind of like a more cherry soda, right? Is that what you would call it?
Yeah.
So we've got this nice big open space. As you guys can see, these are our rations for the week. We're only here for 7 days. So we went, actually, fun story, and maybe we'll vlog about that too. We went to Lowe's Foods, which again is another very specific grocery store, not to be confused with Lowe's Hardware. They have definitely elevated themselves. It's actually the first place I worked and was a W-2 employee when I was in high school, when I lived in North Carolina. And they are pretty much based, I think, North Carolina, South Carolina, and maybe Tennessee. I'll have to confirm that, and maybe we'll put a little across there once we confirm it. But it's actually a really nice grocery store. So we went over there. We got our rations, and we stocked up for the week. And this is pretty much what we do. We get we get some snacks and bottles of water, and we just kind of hang out in the room. So let's check out the rest of the room since I've pretty much talked y'all's ear off here. Okay, so coming off of that open foyer area, this is the general living space. It's actually kind of nice and spacious. They actually utilize this space fairly well, which is something that I think a lot of hotels struggle with, is how do you utilize the space and make it feel open and welcoming, but also functional. This is a pull-out sofa bed, which we're not going to take the pieces out, but let's say you have more than 2 people, but you want to still sleep on a king-size bed. This will fold out, I believe, to like a queen. So you do have that option, so you have additional sleeping area. We've got some nice, well, we've got this lamp here. We've got a nice little bedside kind of work table over there. And again, like I said, it's nice and open. We have some drawers here for storage, which is kind of nice if you're wanting to like kind of unpack a little bit and just settle into the room per se. The work chair is actually nice and big. I sat in it for a little bit and it's actually pretty comfy. Some hotels do not give you a good work chair. I do have to say, when it comes to cloth like this, it's way harder to sanitize. So that's always something that kind of sticks in my head when I see cloth chairs, but it actually looks pretty clean, I have to say. We've got a nice big workstation. As you can see, like Gary's laptop doesn't even take up the whole space, but it can also double as like a nice little dining room table. I don't really know where the other person would sit, but it's definitely a space that you can utilize for more than just a workstation. Over here is another dresser. You can't see the drawer because we've kind of got our luggage hanging out over it, but there is a drawer underneath here and then a shelf as well in case you need that storage. Over here on this wall, we've got a nice little coat rack. So if you've got rain jackets, book bags, which we just throw ours on the couch because we don't really sit on the couch, but if you need that extra storage space for anything that you brought, you can utilize these as well, which is actually really nice, I have to say. It's nice when you have like extra storage space. All right, so now we're gonna move into the bedroom where the magic happens. Not always, but still. It's a king-size bed. We slept on it. You slept on it last night. I slept on it today when I got back from work. It's not bad. It's a traditional Hilton bed. Hilton, again, at least in our experience, and I've heard different from other people, but for us and how we feel, Hilton is a little bit more on the firmer side when it comes to their mattresses. I will say their sheets are softer than Marriott, and it seems kind of weird that you nitpick these things, but when you're living most of your life in a hotel, it's the little things that matter. And again, we go back to my biggest qualm, which is standard pillows on a king size bed. Now these are just, I would say I think these are more queen than standard, because they're tiny bit bigger than the other bed. Because if you go back to our other video at the other Columbia hotel, when the pillows were on the bed, there was a massive gap between the two, almost enough that you could fit a person. So I almost feel like these might be just a hair bigger, but that could just be my imagination. And again, this is how you test if a pillow is good. It's not completely dead. They did hold up a little bit better than some of the other ones because they do feel like there's more fluff in them than like a weird, I don't know what to describe what was in the other one, but it felt like it would just completely deflate as soon as we laid on it. Whereas these, I do feel like I have a little bit more support. So that I think sleep is important. That's why you're in a hotel. Sleep is the number one thing for me. Next is cleanliness and all the other things, but I need to be able to sleep. Okay, moving on. So, as you guys can see, there's a little like built-in wall nightstand on either side with both having sconces. And again, this lighting is fantastic. Like usually it's more of a yellow light. It's more of like like a 30-watt bulb. I feel like these definitely have way more voltage to them. There are 2 plugs and a USB on either side of the bed. That side has the telephone. This side has the alarm clock. And yeah, I have to say, I like the space out. Looking at this wall over here, you guys can see we have 2 windows in this room, which is really nice. It lets in a lot of natural light. I will say the cooling system in this room is not as good as it could be. Unfortunately, it is what it is. We did sleep today and we had both of the shades down, and the heat that kind of comes in and gets trapped, it does make this room a little bit on the warm side. And that may just be because we have the sun beaming in. That could be a nuance of that. But we are finding that Hiltons, for the most part, seem to not cool the rooms as well as maybe the Marriotts do. Maybe you have a different opinion, and if you do, leave us a comment below and let us know why you stay at Hilton versus Marriott, or either way, because we always like to hear from you guys. But yeah, the windows are nice, I will say. I like the nice natural light that comes in. We do have a fairly large TV. I would say it's maybe a 70-inch. Yeah, I think it's a 70-inch. It's pretty big. The one thing that we will point out, I'm not going to show you guys, but the box in the back that controls the TV, it does not allow you to hook up your Roku. And that might, or your Amazon Fire, or whatever you guys might bring, which is a legit pro tip. If you guys travel, get yourself a travel Roku. So that way you can bring your YouTube, your Netflix, all of that with you. And you don't have to update your passwords or put your information into property that may be left behind. So legit tip. So Gary had to unplug the box in order to actually get the Roku to work on the TV. So that was a little cumbersome. This is the first TV that we've had that issue with. So keep that in mind if you guys do come here. There is more storage over here on this side of the TV. It's literally just like a cabinet space. But again, this room has really good hidden storage. So definitely a pro tip. And as you guys can see, nice big open walkway. I actually have more room here than I do in my own bedroom at home, which is kind of a funny story. Next up, we're gonna go into the bathroom and show you guys the bathroom. All right, so coming off of the bedroom, we transition into the bathroom. And it's interesting, they did not put an actual door, and I completely understand why. There's not a functional space for it, but they do have this really heavy, it is heavy, barn door to kind of differentiate the 2 rooms. So as we come into here, starting off over here in the very far corner, we have the closet situation. We do have a fair amount of hangers. There is the extra linens for that pull-out couch. Now, when we got into the room, it was missing the extra pillow. But for the most part, and take this with a grain of salt, usually if the pillow is missing, you can usually just call down to the front desk and ask for extra pillows. Now, we had one hotel stay where we asked for extra pillows. They didn't have one. We had to wait till the next day. But for the most part, majority of the hotels will give you all the extra pillows that you want. You just have to call them or go down to the front desk. But back here, you've got the extra linens, you've got an iron, you've got an ironing board, you have a luggage rack, you have extra hangers, and they do offer dry cleaning if that is something that you need. And I would say every hotel I've ever been at offers some kind of dry cleaning service. All right, so coming over here, we have a nice, large vanity, and again, this is one of the best lit bathrooms I've been in a very long time. I could definitely do my makeup in here. There's plenty of room for 2 people to be in here. You don't have double sinks, but you know, one person could be getting ready and the other person brushing their teeth. It just depends on how close you like to be with the people you're traveling with. They did start to use more vertical space like we saw at the other Hampton Inn, which I like. I like using vertical space when you don't have a lot of wide space. Going up is a lot easier. And again, I'm a little kind of weirded out with the fact that they do the body lotion on the wall, and it's a little dirty. As you guys can see, it's like collected and solidified kind of right there. It's It's kind of a neutral scent. It's not anything that's more gender specific. It's very neutral, very soft in terms of what they use at the Hamptons. Now, not all Hiltons use this brand. I know when I stayed at the Hilton Garden Inn in Bozeman, it was more of a lemony scent. And when we stayed, I think it was a Marriott, it was like a weird lavender scent, and I didn't like it. I didn't. It was like a lavender ginger. I didn't like it at all. One thing I will say that is interesting about this room, and I'm gonna turn these lights off so you can see it. There's a nightlight, and you are able to turn it off. But if you kind of need that little bit of extra light, it's got different settings. No, it won't turn off. Anyways, you can turn it off because as you guys saw, I did. So if you need that extra light so that way you don't stumble around in the night and hurt yourself, that's actually a cool feature that I haven't seen really anywhere else. All right, moving on to where the rest of the magic happens. It's a decently sized shower. The shower stuff is over here on this side and the shower head's here. It had decent water pressure. It took a minute for the water to get hot, but who cares? They do have, again, the zero products in the shower, so shampoo, conditioner, body wash. We bring our own, but it's always nice to have that in case you forget. And Hilton's actually very good. If you forget your toothbrush, razors, you want extra things, they will definitely get it hooked up for you for free. Most hotels will too, but it's kind of nice to know that they're looking out for you. And they did go back to daily housekeeping, which is also something to remember because I think Hilton was doing like every other week for a while, depending on your stay. And since the pandemic, everything's kind of weird with hotels. The one thing I will say that's a little off-putting about this bathroom is, again, the clearance space between the door and the toilet. It's not as bad as it was at the hotel in downtown Columbia. But if you're somebody who wants to close the door for more additional privacy, just know, like, get in the bathroom, close the door. Don't sit down and then close the door because it is a very tight space in here. And interesting enough, there's a lot of rust on the back of that hinge up there. So this room does get really, really moist. And there is a hook on the back of the door too. So yeah, that's the bathroom, guys. And coming back out here, that's pretty much gonna wrap up our room tour. Stick around and we're gonna go check out the gym, the fitness center, the laundry facilities, and we'll see if we get downstairs during this week to show you guys what the breakfast area looks like. And so far, we've been pretty pleasantly pleased, so stick around, there's more to come.
All right, so here are the hallways. I always give you a shot of those, let you know they look nice. Nice carpets. Doesn't really smell here, which is a plus.
I like that ours is buy one, get one free fireworks.
I like me some fireworks. Now, you saw the last hotel we stayed in Charlotte? Charlotte, oops. Last time we stayed in Columbia. Thank you, Gary, for thinking that. They had these cool little signs on the doors in the Hamptons. These are really neat. Look at our neighbors has a tractor, which is kind of cool. They have different ones throughout the hallway. Yeah. What do you think of the signs, Nacy?
I think they're cute. It kind of adds like a little bit of a different flair to it, I guess. And I'm curious if it's the same on it. Like, is it 328 also that? Do you know what I mean?
That's a good question. Because here's the deer sign. We did see the deer sign at the last one. I'll have to go look at what the floor was though. Let's go check out that lobby. All right, so when you get to your elevators on your floors, there are an ice room. Something I found fascinating about this ice room is that it's really hot inside. So there's no like air in here. And there we go. Motion sensor light, and there's the ice machine, but there's no like air conditioning in this room, so it's really warm. And the ice machine makes a lot of heat. But there's your ice.
Plugs in like USBs under them. That's awesome. And it looks like even in the lounge room over there they have that as well. Dash.
Something that I've noticed more and more in these gyms is they're doing these blocks now. So let us know in the comments, are you doing like jumping drills and stuff? Right, I'm definitely not in shape to do those yet, but I'm definitely fascinated by what kind of exercises you guys do with the blocks. Then they got some free weights. You know, I love me some free weights.
Nice big mirror so you can check your feeling.
There's my fat ass. Yes, my elbow is almost healed, so I will be back to lifting weights again very soon.
I love these foam rollers. Like, they're really good for like stretching out your back or like rubbing out sore muscles.
We got weight balls, some blocks for yoga, some kettlebells.
Trigger point. I have a feeling it says trigger points. This must be for like there's something. And they also have yoga blocks.
Yeah, I just said that. You can tell she doesn't listen to me when I'm talking. There's a bubble thing. Nice big TV.
Exercise bands.
Now they do have a bike. It's not a Peloton, but it's a very nice spinning bike. They have a Peloton next to it though. So 2 bikes, 1 elliptical, and 2 treadmills. And then they have 1 bench in the middle of the room.
And they have a scale.
Yeah, they got a little scale, and then they got towels and water. It's not too bad. Nice little gym area. It's actually really nice. Really clean, smells good. Positives. I like the little weight area. Surprised they don't have like one of those kind of weight machines that they have in some of them, but here is the gym next to the pool. Breakfast is back there.
It was nice and big when I walked in. That's why I just didn't stop for breakfast. But
Yeah, we are probably going to try to get at least 1 breakfast in here.
it's nice.
Wow, to get to the guest laundry, you have to actually go outside and then go to this outside area. This is open 24 hours a day.
And yes, you can unlock all the doors.
All right, so another tiny laundry area. They do only have 1 washer, 1 dryer. It is $2. Come on, guys, quit raising these prices. This is kind of ridiculous. $2 plus if you add extras. You got to put money in to find out. It's typically a little bit more. But there's a little area, and the washer and dryer cycles are 45 minutes. Again, that's assuming that you don't select any of the extras. Just legit tip on that. What do you think of the laundry area?
It's nice, but it is a little expensive.
And tiny. They got a little folding table.
I feel like people are here for a shorter period of time.
Agreed.
So I don't think there's that many people that are here doing laundry, whereas like when you stay at an extended stay, they usually have at least 4 to 6 washer and dryers.
Yeah, but if you think about it, that Silver Cloud that we stayed in Seattle has these on each floor. Why not just put them on each floor with ice machines?
Mm-hmm.
Or put 2 stackables. At least you get 4 in here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, let's see the rest of the hotel.
All right, so one thing to know about the Hilton app is you can pretty much open any door just like you would with your actual room key with your phone. So I will say I do appreciate that, and I do like their app a lot better than Marriott's, whereas Marriott's you have to physically touch the touch point. Hilton, you just hit it and it opens. So it's a lot like our August locked at home.
Hashtag not sponsored August Lock.
Right.
One thing that we've noticed at both of these Hamptons that we've stayed at in South Carolina, they do have doggy bags. So if you have a little pup, they got a nice little walking area by the pool. But they also have a ton of doggy bag release stations. So very nice hotels for pets. Let us know in those comments, what kind of pet should we get? So here's some of the dog walk areas at night. You see, it's not badly lit. There's some lights all the way through it. Some nice areas to walk. This is a kind of steep drop, so be careful if you're back here. But there's some space back here to walk your pups. So they have the pool hours, 9 to 10. It is only 8 o'clock, and it seems like it's closed. But it's a nice pool area. Pretty nice size. 4.5 feet deep. So not super deep.
They have some nice chairs though, and it looks like they have loungers
Yeah,
in the back corner. So
yeah, they do. And a couple umbrellas. So a nice pool area, not super big. It is outside. There is no cover on it. So bugs and stuff could be an issue in the summertime. Just legit tip there. But it's really nice. Something to note too, if you do use the pool, there is an outside restroom. So you can actually go pee or get changed when you're out here. It's really nice.
okay, so now that we have stayed here for a week, we're gonna give you our fun thoughts.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the nicer hotels we stayed in Columbia. Definitely cleaner. It's newer, and definitely about good on every aspect, I think.
I would agree. I mean, the only thing, and it's a Hilton problem, not this hotel's problem, it's the bed. The beds are always a lot firmer at Hilton's versus some of the other chains that we go to, because Marriott's still firm, but they're not as firm. Hilton sheets are a little bit softer, I would say, not so much linen-y like Marriott's, but those are just tribute to the brand. But the staff here have been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, the staff is definitely the best that we've had here. My only complaint about this hotel, and again, it's just kind of a general complaint, there's no real grills or anything outside the hotel, so if you wanted to, like, do your own cooking or anything, that's not an option here. Unlike the other one that we stayed at on this trip, the rooms were garbage, but outside it had some nice grills and stuff you could use. I wish they would put some nice grills and maybe like a sitting area outside at this one, because the only thing that's outside is the pool, and there's not much around there to sit, just some chairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like the other Hampton Inn, because they were both Hampton Inns. It had like a fireplace and a sitting area in addition to the pool and grills. So maybe that's to come, because they are clearing out some spaces, and like maybe it's in the works because this is a newer hotel. But overall, I have to say we definitely really enjoyed our stay here.
Yeah, and it's definitely worth a visit. Really nice hotel, really a nice place to stay, whether you're short-term or long-term. So definitely a recommend from us.
And it's also really close to the interstates too. Good to know about that, like its location in terms to like how you can get around.
So if you like this video, hit that thumbs up.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
And ring that notification bell so you get notified when we release 3 videos a week.
And we'll come and get you guys for the next one.
Ain't that the truth, baby Ruth?
Bye, everybody.
Bye.